Hello everyone and welcome back to my opinion. And the Delhi Capitals have beaten the Chennai Super Kings by 20 runs and registered their first win of the season. On the 11s of both sides, starting off with the Delhi Capitals, Prithvi Shaw was thankfully brought back into the side to open the batting. And since Kuldeep Yadav had a nego, therefore he wasn't able to play this game, Ishant Sharma was brought in place of him. And for the Chennai Super Kings, they went in with the same set of players, where since they were bowling first, Matisha Patirana was in the side ahead of Shivam Dubey. Now on CSK fielding the extra overseas seamer from the previous game, I think it's quite a poignant thing where, of course, we've seen CSK with their slow bowlers. That's been a hallmark of their success. They never used to play two overseas seamers in the 11, and even saw in the previous game where Jadeja only bowled two of them. They're not bowling Rachin Ravindra, so I fear they're veering away from their strengths when in this game, without a Moeen Ali, without a Mitchell Santner, or even without a Tikshana, when you're not bowling Rachin Ravindra and you've only got Jadeja as a sole spinner, it's quite a drastic change. So I wasn't too happy that they fielded the extra seamer in this game or in the previous game. And Rishabh Pant won the toss and chose to bat first, which is a good decision, the correct one, as that was the best chance Delhi had to win this game today. And Rutraj Gaikwad said they were looking to bowl first as well, which I didn't get when I thought if they did that, they would have given the opposition a chance to put up a fight in this game and they wouldn't have been playing to their strengths. So I was puzzled by a few calls and also the comment made in retrospect after the toss on Rutraj Gaikwad, but it played out how it played out. The Delhi openers walked out to bat, even though a few boundaries are scored. If a 25 without loss after that many deliveries, with how this venue typically plays out, where in the first 10 overs on the ball is hard, you can look to score runs. In the latter 10, when the ball gets softer, it's more difficult to score. And with how David Warner has gone about things in the last while, where he's not been the Warner of old, where he looked to take the attack to the opposition bowlers in the power play. Nowadays, he looks to take the game deep. So 25 without loss after 4.1, I thought CSK had things relatively in control. From the 5th over onwards, however, Deepak Chahar, we saw in the first game and in this one, his strength is swinging the new ball, bowling 3 overs in the power play and where he hits the correct length. We've seen in the first game and in this one, he's at times bowled too short. He doesn't bowl too quick, so he bowled 130 bowling quite short, and you saw how Faf du Plessis and David Warner in this game took to him. And there was a delivery where he was bowling slow on leg stump a few times, and David Warner with a shot he likes to play over square leg, and he hit him for 6, and that was what set his innings underway. I think DC were on 40 without loss after the 5th over, and an expensive Mustafizur Rahman have meant DC, I think 61 or 62 without loss. So from going a runner ball for the first 4.1, it got to a stage where they convincingly won the power play on what I thought would be a slow service. And I'd say, in terms of how things played out today, it roughly worked out at about that trend, especially in the second innings. The Deepak Chahar over brought out a David Warner that we hadn't seen in a while in the IPL, where off late he's been looking to take the game deep. He played a decently attacking knock in the previous game, but in this game, after that, he was playing slog sweeps off Jadeja when he had to full, and it was nice to see him play this kind of innings that we hadn't seen in a while in the IPL. And on Prithvi Shaw, an expected impact. He shouldn't have been dropped from the side. He should have played the first 2 games. And the reason why he was dropped from the side, in my view, is because they don't understand the type of player he is. With the way he looks to go about things, he'll win you 3 or 4 games out of 14 with his own bat. However, you can't expect consistency. Looking at the squad, there's not much Indian batting there outright, or frontline Indian batting there, barring Rishabh Pant and Prithvi Shaw and Akshar Patel now, of course. So if you're dropping a player like Prithvi Shaw who's open the batting for India, I don't get what you're doing there. So he expected he had an impact in this game. And as I said at the start of the video, if you're only bowling one spinner, that's Ravindra Jadeja, at times he had 2 for today when David Warner was batting and he got hit for 6s. So if he has an off day and you're not bowling Rachin Ravindra, you've not got someone like a Moeen Ali or even a Mahesh Tikshana to take the ball away from the left-hander, which could have been useful today. So I'm not a fan of them playing 2 overseas seamers. It worked in the previous game where they had more than enough runs to defend against a GT side that we knew would get the bang lineup wrong. In this case, the Delhi Capitals, they got off to a positive start. I think they were 89 without loss after 8 overs, or the 8 or 9 overs. And from there, they got the foundation to get a very good score. Matisha Patina took a fantastic one-handed catch to dismiss David Warner. And Prithvi Shaw was caught behind after bowling at Ravindra Jadeja. Now, Mitchell Marsh walked out in the 11th over and the score was 103 for 2. We'd seen him walk out at 3 much earlier when the opening combination wasn't firing for the Delhi Capitals the previous season. And a lot of the time it was on slower tracks. And I'd said even before this video that I feel I think Mitchell Marsh should go back to being a power hitter at the end. I'd referred to the innings he played against England in 2015 in an ODI at Lords, where even then he was using his feet to the spinners. He doesn't do that now. So if he doesn't do that now, can he walk out at 3 in India against spinners? No, he can't, even though there's only one spinner bowling for CSK today. He scored 18 off 12, yes, but I know this won't happen. Hopefully he is used differently, the way he should be used, where he walks out towards the end of the innings being a power hitter rather than being sent out earlier. And Matisha Patiana bowled an outstanding Yorker to dismiss Mitchell Marsh. And also it was followed up by, I thought, a bit of a low full toss to Tristan Stubbs. He probably should have played that, but he was dismissed for a golden duck. And Delhi were 134 for 4 after 15 overs, and you thought CSK were clawing their way back into this game. I was very happy to see Rishabh Pant accelerate towards the end. We saw in the previous game he'd scored 28 of 26 and struggled for a strike rate in a big chase. In this game, he was 23 of 23 and scored 28 off the last 9 deliveries that he'd faced. I thought, people are talking about the one-handed 6. I thought the shot of the innings was how he went from 37 to 43, where he went back in his crease and hit Matisha Patiana's delivery for a 6 over mid-wicket. He converted a Yorker into a half volley. So I was very happy to see him play well. I've been waiting a long while for his return, and hopefully he can don the national colours soon. And Delhi got to 191 for 5 in their 20 overs. A very good score on the surface, and I thought CSK had it all to do. On the bowling figures, I'd said this even earlier in this video, Deepak Chahar, with the way he was bowling in the power play, I don't understand what he was trying to do. In the first game and this one, not once. I think the first delivery that he bowled to Prithvi Shaw, where the ball swung away a bit. Apart from that, he didn't try to exploit his strengths with the new ball. Instead, he was bowling short deliveries at 130 kph, which was quite puzzling. Tushar Deshpande, he bowled well in the previous game and none for 24 in this game, where you've bowled first and he's in 191. It's a fantastic effort. Mustafa Rahman, an off day for him. Jadeja, he was put under pressure by the left-handed batsman, but at times I thought he erred a bit on the fuller side. And Matisha Patiana, when he's been playing for CSK, has been fantastic. Even in the ILT20, he was very good. Then he picked up an injury, came back here, has been picking up where he left off. So I thought there are a couple of good performances in that. 191 for 5, especially against his Delhi Capitals lineup. I didn't expect CSK to concede this kind of a score, and I hope they reconsider the 2 overseas seamer policy. In the CSK batting innings, I thought the game was lost in the first 8 overs of the chase, where in the first 3 overs, Khalil Ahmed dominated in the power play, where he dismissed Raj Gaikwad in the first over. Now, we've seen for a long while now, when the left-armer swings the ball away, Gaikwad seems to be vulnerable. And I feel bad saying this, but I feel off late, he's not been... We saw he had a very good season last year, apart from that when he's been playing for India on and off, and if you're even seeing in this season as well. He's not been utilising his potential, where at times, even when he has been playing well, he's got a reprieve at the start from the same left-handed weakness where he's either been dropped at the slips or something similar. And even in the previous game, he played a nice innings of 46, couldn't kick on from there. I feel he's not using all the potential that he's got. I hope he starts doing that somewhere along the line or very soon in the season, because he's a fantastic player. But we've seen that weakness plague him when he's faced Trent Boult, and we saw today where he's been facing a bowler who has bowled well in the 2 seasons prior, despite struggling with injury, and in this case, I thought he was very good with the new ball. So I was happy that Khalil Ahmed was bowling the way he did, but I wasn't too pleased that Raj Gaikwad wasn't fully utilising his potential. And with how he's been going in the last while, I didn't think we'd see Rachin Ravindas scoring 2 runs off 12 deliveries that he faced up front. But That's how good Khalil Ahmed was today. And as I said, he's been bowling well for the last 2 seasons, and if he gets a third good season under his belt, with how he was viewed when he was bowling at the Sunrisers Hyderabad, where we've seen he's got a good outswinger. Apart from that, he wasn't consistent when he was playing for Hyderabad. Since he was bought by Delhi Capitals in the mega auction, he's been fantastic for them, and I hope it continues. And the reason why I'm saying they lost in the first 8 overs is because Ajinkya Rahane walked out at number 3. Yes, he scored 150 strikeout overall. But when you're 7 for 2 in 3 overs, and especially when the wicket falls out early, you're chasing 191 on the slower track, I would have sent out Shun Dubia, Darryl Mitchell at number 3. And especially Shun Dubia, I think, should have walked out at number 3, even though the seamers were bowling at that point. Yes, Rahane scored 45 of 30, but he scored 20 of 17 at the start. And then Darryl Mitchell at that point is 15 of 16, 49 for 2 and 8.2, I think, game over. Because you're not going to score 142 runs or so in the last 70 odd deliveries of the game on this surface. So I thought it was poor management from the CSK there. You even saw in the previous game, Rahane was sent out on a slow service at number 3 when a foundation was laid after the power play didn't get it. So they're looking to stick to their beliefs, their principles, but I feel you've got to consider the match situation as well. That's why I would not have sent out Rahane in this game or in the previous game. 120 for 6, 72 needed off 23. CSK are out of the game for a while, but a roar in the stadium as MS Dhoni walks out to bat. I was looking to see what he would do, and the first ball he faces, he plays a pull shot off the bowling of Mukesh Kumar for 4. And even more than the 6s, my favourite shot out of that innings was when he went from 5 of 2 to 9 of 3. The cover drive where he'd put his foot out to the ball and played a rasping drive for 4. Especially with the long locks, it reminded me of the 2003 version. So I was very happy to see him play that knock, and especially when he hit the 20-run over of Anurag Nokia with how everyone was cheering in the crowd. It didn't seem like CSK had lost this game, so I was very happy to see him play that innings, and I'm sure all CSK fans are happy to see him play that innings. And maybe we could get to see him with the bat 1 or 2 more times. He isn't looking to walk out as often, and with this batting lineup, I don't think he'll have to walk out too often. But he's been keeping brilliantly, and if he's going to play as well as this, even playing an innings after such a long time, then I think there's some good things in store whenever he does walk out to bat in the future. Another 21 of 17. We've seen in the last while for a long while his power hitting hasn't been the same. Usually he goes well against pace from the get-go. He takes a bit of time against spin and then can go big. Today I thought they bowled the wide Yorkers quite well, both Anurag Nokia in up to his 3rd over, and Mukesh Kumar, who was introduced in the latter half of the innings, bowled fantastically. So I thought they bowled very well to him. But Jadeja, we've seen his power hitting hasn't been quite the same as before, but we've seen when his team has really required him to do something, he has done so. So I'm hoping he'll come good in the future, and I think he will do. On the Delhi Capitals bowling figures, an outstanding performance from Khalil Ahmed. As I said, another good performance in the bank after what he's done in the prior 2 seasons. Ishant Sharma, 9 for 23 in his 3, a good return for him. Anurag Nokia, especially on these slow services, he does not seem to be hitting the correct lengths. And combined with injuries, we'll have to see how it will go. We've seen in the last couple of seasons that he's not been able to play many games due to injury. And given the nature of the services they've played their games on, they've not been to his liking. So that's something they'll have to deal with. Akshay Patel only bowling 3 overs, 1 for 20 in his 3. Rafiq Salam, we've seen him bowl in the mid-140s before and he's playing for KKR and briefly for the Mumbai Indians. Unfortunately, some injuries have occurred since then and his pace was quite down in this game. So I felt bad for him, but he did not seem the bowler that we saw when he was playing for KKR. I hope he can get back to that point soon. Mitchell Marsh has been in terrible bowling form this tournament where he bowls quite good cutters on slow services and is a wicket-taking bowler. You saw him even take a 4-for against SRH in the previous season. Unfortunately, he's not been in any sort of bowling form, so I don't think they can get too much out of him as far as bowling is concerned this season. Mukesh Kumar, I'd said before, he bowls good Yorkers. He was introduced as the death bowler on this side and taking the place of Kuldeep Yadav. I think Ishant Sharma took his place, but Mukesh Kumar bowling at the death, 3 for 21 and 3, nailed the wide Yorkers and was fantastic. So I didn't expect the Delhi Capitals to win this game, especially scoring 191 and really dominating this game. So a brilliant performance from them. And I was happy Rishabh Pant batted at number 3. Secondly, Mitchell Marsh should walk out as a power hitter at the end. I don't think they'll do that. But you saw in this game, he had a greater likelihood of scoring with the 18 that he scored than walking out at 3 earlier on a slow surface. So, a very good one for the Delhi Capitals, and the Gujarat Titans also beat the Sunrise early on today. So, two teams that I thought would find it difficult to win on the day. They've won and make the tournament more interesting, but I'm backing CSK to get back to winning ways. So, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, share with your friends. Remember, this is my opinion. What's yours?